Hey everyone, Jennifer Lee Chan here from NBC Sports Bay Area. Kyle Shanahan just got off the podium and gave us the game status report. Four players are out: Trent Williams, George Odom, Dre Greenlaw, and Jordan Mason. Jordan Mason will probably head to IR on Saturday, tomorrow, when their transactions are due. Doubtful, Nick Bosa. Good sign that he is doubtful. He's been upgraded, but I do not think he plays on Sunday. I think they're going to save him, make sure he gets better fully. You don't want to re-injure it because he was kind of doubtful, questionable before, and then he re-injured the oblique and then was out for a couple more weeks. So I think they're going to rest him and have him come back on Thursday. Three guys are questionable. That's Aaron Banks, who has not fully cleared the concussion protocol. Talanoa Hufanga, because any guy coming back from IR who's had their window open is automatically listed as questionable. That's the highest level they can be listed as. And then Demetrius Flanagan-Fowles. Knee injury happened earlier in the game last week. George Odom popped up, knee injury. I saw Nick Bosa on his scooter heading out of the locker room. He stopped at George Odom's locker, and it's right next to Deebo Samuel's, right at the entry exit of the locker. He sat there and talked to him for a couple, I mean, I would say at least 5 minutes. We were waiting for George Kittle. Nick Bosa was over talking to George Odom for that entire time, probably asking him what happened, what he felt, what's going on with his knee. I don't think it's super severe. I mean, we'll see when the transaction report comes out tomorrow. He didn't have any devices on it. It might be a sprain or a bruise or something that happened in practice on Wednesday. Uh, but Aaron, so we have Aaron Banks. I don't know that they need to put Aaron Banks out there again. Ben Barch played pretty well next to next to Jalen Moore. That left side of the offensive line actually did pretty good. So, you've got guys that have played together, giving them another week at start, maybe good. Maybe Aaron Banks comes back for that Thursday game. So we'll find out, you know, how they line up kind of at the first snap of the game. I think they do have Aaron Banks active. If he does clear the protocol, it sounds like he's pretty close. But there are all these different steps that players have to go through to clear the protocol. Trent Williams still out, ankle injury. Dre Greenlaw, I think they do bring him back on Thursday. Jordan Mason again, out on IR. All right, so I've seen a ton of posts and comments and questions about blow it all up, tank for the rest of the season. That is not going to happen. Let me just tell you, all these people that are saying that are on YouTube, that are giving you these opinions, they're not in the building. And from being in the building, they still are not out of playoff possibilities. So they are not officially eliminated. No one's going to tank because you know why? Players have a short career span in the NFL. So they're going to do everything they can to put great film out there, play for their next contract, play for the next season. There is no tanking. And I don't think you blow up the 49ers either. You look at the guys who will come back next year, like Brandon Ayuk, like Christian McCaffrey, and those guys are the players that scored a lot of touchdowns last year. They weren't productive this year. They didn't play a lot of games. So that's why the 49ers aren't great this year. When you don't have your best players on the field, you don't perform as well. So, yes, everybody's an NFL player. They do have a next man up mentality, but second string and third string players are second and third string players for a reason because the top players get those huge contracts. They're the starters. Those are your all pros. Those are the pro bowlers. Like Javon Hargrave being out for the season after week 3. That made a huge difference. Samu Kuanu and Evan Anderson are really good players and they're being able to show what they're capable of. But they're not Javon Hargrave. Javon Hargrave got a huge contract for the 49ers for a reason. Nick Bosa got a huge contract for a reason. The guys that are coming in along, in their place are good players. You know, Only one out of a bajillion players gets to be an NFL starter, player. So when you look at that, yes, they are NFL players, but they're just not going to be as capable as the guys who are your Pro Bowlers consistently on the field. When George Kittle is out, we see the lowering of production because George Kittle is such an impressive run blocker, pass protector, the safety blanket who can catch checkdowns. When he's not on the field, it makes a huge difference and you can feel it. Yes, Christian McCaffrey may not have had the best 2 games coming back when he first came back from injured reserve, But that third game against the Buffalo Bills before he was injured, you could see how he was getting his vision back, getting, the timing back, and you could see the potential of where he could go. So, no, I don't think you get rid of Christian McCaffrey. You don't get rid of Debo Samuel. You don't get rid of Kyle Shanahan either. John Lynch was on KNBR and said that the trade talk about Kyle Shanahan going to the Bears is comical. It's ridiculous, to be honest. Kyle Shanahan would be snapped up like that. If he was fired or let go, every team in the NFL, barring maybe the Chiefs and Andy Reid and, a couple of those other top teams, would up Kyle Shanahan immediately. He's a talented player. Yes, he has not won the big games, but you look at where the team was before he got there, they were in the Super Bowl last year. So, I mean, you don't just get rid of a head coach. Head coaches are hard to find. Good ones are hard to find. I mean, do I need to take everybody back to the Jim Tom Sula, Chip Kelly era, the last year of Jim Harbaugh? I mean, it's not that long ago that it was a bad situation for the 49ers when it was Trent Baalke as the general manager. I mean, you look at the players that are coming into the 49ers, they're doing a good job. Renato Green is probably going to replace Charvarius Ward next year as the outside corner. Diamond Lenore got a huge contract. Fred Warner's playing on 1.5 feet. Dre Greenlaw could come back. That's a guy who I think they should have priority in signing for next year. But I mean, they're bringing in guys. Ricky Pearsall needs to get involved in the offense. Isaac Guerrero has a chance to show what he's capable of. So these young guys that are taking over, they're not taking the season. They're not thinking about draft picks. They're not. They want to put on film the best game film that they can, and they're going to play as best as they can. And yes, there's going to be some mistakes like turnovers, like dropped passes because they aren't your all pros, but they want to be, and they're going to work as hard as they can to get there. So, as far as all these people, on the interweb saying blow it up and fire Kyle Shanahan, it's not going to happen. It's just not. They are still not eliminated from playoff potential. So, they're going to play hard and they're going to play as best they can, and the starters are going to be out there. So, that's my 2 cents for the day. It's Friday. Happy Friday, everybody. I'll give you some more updates tomorrow, Saturday. I think I'll have time tomorrow. Otherwise, if you're at the game on Sunday when the Bears come to town, please say hi, please wave, and please subscribe. Please tell your friends that we're doing this over here. I'm doing this over here. Also, tune in to 49ers Talk. Matt is on injured reserve or out for the game, I think, on Sunday, but he'll be around for, the podcast and whatnot. We just did a segment of the podcast for Saturday. It includes Greg Papa talking to Kyle Shanahan and game plan. So definitely check those out, and I'll be chatting with you soon.